According to Jim Bowden, Lynn Henning, bottom line, Tigers are getting overtures on Skubal. And look, part of that's diligence by other teams. Lots of phone calls happen without reports. The whole point is, are you listening? That's all we're asking for. I'm not demanding he has to be traded. I'm not taking less. I'm not selling short. But I think it's time for Scott Harris to have to do his job in a forward-facing manner. This hasn't gone well. You're 2 years in. You don't have a lineup. There's not really a lot more help in the immediate future on the way. Please do not sell me players that are at West Michigan. Please do not talk about guys that will not be here even to debut till 2026. Do you listen on Skubal? My answer is yes. If you say no, I need reasons why. Other than you have a Kirk Gibson jersey on, or you have Tiger Jam Jams, or you're listening to 8 tracks of Ernie. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, no, other than that, they're just going to say, well, he's our guy.
I don't care.
We why do we always have to get rid of our superstars here in Detroit?
You don't always have to get rid of your superstars. And if Jackson Jobe is actually as good as you think he is, there's your replacement. Bring him up.
Yeah, it's just a coincidence that I think we're both saying you probably need to move from Skubal and Kay Cunningham. 2 different sports, but
no, but in a lot of ways, Trajan Langdon, he has to show competency tonight. Yeah. Meaning, look, if there's a deal to be had, if there's some chicanery, if you will, I'd like to have one of our GMs be the guy to do it. Yeah. Wow, they moved from 5 and got the Grizzlies to give up what? I want that.
Yeah, and think about this, Mike. The last time some teams in this city had success, they moved some sacred cows. They got rid of Grant Hill. They let him walk. All of a sudden, you got to go into work Pistons, right? Hey, the Lions, Matthew Stafford. Oh, he's our guy. Well, not anymore. We're going to go ahead and move him to the Rams for some draft picks, and Jared Goff, we're going to start all over again.
Yeah, you could make a credible case to keeping him. I'm fine with it. And you want to sell me on a rotation where he's at the top of it and Jackson Jobe would slot in at 2 and Reese Olson's at 3 and then Mize at 4 and then, Kenny's mom at 5. It doesn't matter. I can understand it. It won't fix your lineup.
Right.
The Tigers do not have organizational balance, and a lot of their hopeful answers are years away. Well, I'm not willing to throw away any more time in my life.
Brother, the saddest thing when it comes to this organization is we sat here and said, okay, since the 84 team, try to come up with 5 developmental everyday players.
Oh, Matt Vierling. Let me go to Bill. Vierling, face of franchise.
I'm just saying.
He is the FOF.
The guys that came up through their system, it's hard to name 5.
Bill, 97.1. What's up, Billy?
Hey, Mike, thanks for taking my call. Well, I went down to that fiasco today only because my lifelong buddy Mike got us a couple tickets and we don't get to spend a lot of time together. But let me tell you, I've played, coached, and umpired baseball at every level, and I can't believe what I saw today. I spent half the game asking my buddy Mike what the names of these clowns were because I don't even pay attention to them. And I was tied between grabbing a Canna jersey, I guess that's his name, or a Vierling jersey. I was really torn. I was just hoping nobody recognized me at the game today. And as far as Skubal, we actually talked about it on the way down there. He's got to get traded for something, especially with this 8 to 10 year Tommy John thing in the background here. But, Mike, I'm going to continue going to Jimmy John's games in Utica and see the same type of baseball. And I'll let you guys talk.
Yeah, no, I mean, Bill, listen, that's the whole thing. I mean, it is – Scott Harris so far has shown no interest in putting an offense out there. As good as he, AJ, and Feder are in finding arms, which, by the way, would be part of the reason I would listen on Skubal. You found Lorenzen. You found Flaherty. Now, the Maeda thing's been a disaster. You got to own that, too.
Yeah, but you're not going
to bat 1,000.
Yeah.
The point I'm making is look at the moves he's made offensively to try to patchwork this thing, to try to bring it along. Abject failure. Period. You don't get credit for Riley Green. Riley's not yours. Cole Keith isn't yours. No. So what have you brought in? I mean, give me a break. The Nick Maton Express, your Uber's here. You know what I mean? And then he drove out of town.
Yeah, he got DFA'd yesterday.
From another team. but you get my point. Now, again, if I got to hear another person affiliated with that team trot out Matt Vierling is the answer, I can't do it. I can't. You can't trot out a guy that wouldn't play for a playoff team. You can't do that. Let's go to Chris, 97.1. What's up, Chris?
Hey guys, let me tell you about Matt Vierling. I'm just kidding.
Face of the franchise, Matt Vierling. Chris, you watch your mouth.
Hey, I'm going to make my point, and then I'm going to hang up real quick.
Sure.
My guy, long story short, I think you're right. You have to listen. This organization has demonstrated that they have the ability to identify and develop pitchers. So I don't think we should really necessarily get attached to any pitcher, especially one coming off of TJ. Tarik's a great player, but let's look at the organization from the whole. You have no long-term option at shortstop. You don't have a long-term option at third base. We don't know what's going to happen with Max Clark in 2 years. If you get the Godfather offer and you can make the system healthier, yeah, do it. No sacred cows. This is a rebuild, and this is how I'm judging Scott Harris. This team is not trying to win. His job is to restock and replenish the farm system, so that's how I'm grading him. I don't care if this team wins. This is where I'm evaluating Scott Harris at this trade deadline, because last year was like a mixed bag, to say the least.
Yeah. No, and Chris, you have every right. And that's, look, ultimately, there may not be a deal available. You may not have something that's interesting to you. That's okay. But it's this fight that we've been in with people, or outright people just saying we're dumb because of what? Bringing it up as a way to supercharge the rebuild, to make up for the fact that there's a big gap here between, look, Scott Harris was awful pleased with himself for his draft day last year. The reality is, in all likelihood, it will not pay legitimate dividends for 3 to 4 years. And that's at the soonest, the quickest.
Right.
So here's an idea. Let's talk about this. Look, the Jack Flaherty thing is easy. Anybody off the street would walk in here and go, all right, got to trade him. The Skubal thing is hard. The Skubal thing takes chops. Mm-hmm. It takes real conviction to go, this is not going to work. I have to do something bold. And you know what I don't? Rico, you always say this. A lot of times executives don't want to make moves because it starts their clock. Mm-hmm. Well, too bad. I don't know about you guys driving home today from your job, but your clock starts the day you take your job. You in sales? You ever off the clock? No, because when a quarter ends, a new one begins, and you got to prove yourself all over again. Hey, if you're a doctor and you're listening to our idiocy, ever have just a coast it period? Oh, you're going to half-ass that heart surgery tomorrow? No, you're on the clock. The real world demands real performance. Yep. Only in sports, where people want to drink the bathwater of sports executives, do we allow these people, Rico, to just flutter along. No,
because Mike, it's not only starting the clock with the executives, it starts the clock with the fan base, because the fans don't want expectations, because it's a lot easier to go to games not expecting to win, to say, well, I had a good time. You don't want to go to a game and be frustrated because you lost this game.
I love being frustrated.
You do, but you're different.
Means the games mean something.
No, but to make that bold decision, and it doesn't mean that, it's difficult, because you know what? Maybe we're going to take a step back to take 3 steps forward. And once again, I look back to the Detroit Lions. When the whole Stafford thing went down, I was like, wait, what? You did what? But they had a plan in place. They knew what they were doing. And now look, they not only did they start the clock, but look at the fan base. Fan base is out there puffing their chest out saying, yeah, we could win. We could do this. We're not talking about, well, maybe they could make a wild card game. They're talking about winning the Super Bowl. But for the Tigers, we've gotten to the, well, they're trying, and look at the couple of guys that they have, and we need to keep all our people here. Man, you got to listen to everything possible, because you don't have as much as you think, Detroit. You really don't.
And again, this isn't just a blind fire outside of another development day down at Comerica. No, it's Jim Bowden saying the Tigers are receiving overtures on Skubal from across the league. Lynn Henning wrote today, look, you'll get a ton for this guy. It's worth listening. All right, you can call us idiots. Well, what are you going to do? If you want to slander Lynn or Jim Bowden, God bless. But eventually, everybody can't be wrong. Can they? To say what? Listen on Skubal? Look, it's very clear they're not going to make the playoffs as currently constituted. Yeah, they'll get hot. Everybody's, the Angels are the town bike. Everybody gets a ride. The point is, they're not going to make it.
From the White Sox to the Angels in 2 separate weeks.
Right. You're going to sell Flaherty. Maybe somebody will take Urshela so somebody can hit a lefty in the playoffs. The point is, I think you take a listen. I'd like to know if you're ready to at least meet us in the middle on it.